Hello mates, I'm Hardik and you probably don't know me yet because this is just the first video of Smack Talk with Hardik. This channel is just gonna be a hub for professional wrestling fans to listen to my predictions, my reviews and share your thoughts related to WWE. Now, if you wanna be an integral part of the STWH community, you can head over to Instagram, X and Discord. The links will be in the description. And at last, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. I'm very sure that you're gonna adore this YouTube channel because we bring wrestling content every single day. So, 2024 is officially coming to an end in a few hours, so there's a weirdly high chance that you're watching this video in the early weeks of 2025. So I'd like to wish you all a happy new year, and let's just get started with the review of final episode of Raw of 2024. So the episode started with New Day coming out and they are getting so much heat, so many boos, and rightfully so because the New Day heel turn might just be the best heel turn of the entire history of WWE. I personally feel that this segment was excellent, and some might feel that this was repetitive. The New Day coming out, they are not getting to talk and they just walk away like after saying nothing. But what this segment did exceptionally well was a callback. That the callback was the New Day and the Usos. I feel that this segment was a hint for a coming feud between the New Day and the Usos. So Xavier Woods was obviously pissed and so was Kofi because Jey Uso came out in between the segment and just heated around and took his time and explanation and everything just to say New Day sucks at the end. So that pissed the hell out of Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. The New Day and Jey segment just hit me and it was just perfectly nice for me with all the callbacks and everything. But where things go south is the segment between Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre and Solo Sikoa. So that part was predictable as hell because what happens more than New Day getting booed is that Solo Sikoa comes out and says that he's gonna beat Roman Reigns at the first episode of Raw on Netflix and he's gonna keep the Ula Fala with himself. And what happens more than that is that Drew McIntyre comes out as this bloodline bounty hunter Drew McIntyre and strikes everyone from the OG bloodline from behind. I'm just in this new character of Drew McIntyre, the bloodline bounty hunter Drew McIntyre is just killing it, and I'm not against the part where it's repetitive, but it just makes sense because that's what he's here to do, just to make the lives of bloodline members hell. And that part where Drew McIntyre runs from the stage to the ramp and then to the ring and hits Jey Uso with the claymore was nasty. It just showed anger on his face, and Drew McIntyre has improved a lot in 2024. He is able to express the emotions very well. So yeah, this segment between New Day, Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre gets a thumbs up from me. So let's now talk about the match between Otis and Gable, a rivalry that was pushed back due to some plans with Gable and White Six, and they just never pulled the trigger on it. They just had to. It was super hot in summer, everyone wanted to see Otis beat up Chad Gable, and now that the match has happened, we can see that the hype is not real for it, that the train has left and we just don't care as much as we did back then. Talking about the in-ring perspective of the match was good. We know that Chad Gable can pull out a great match with almost anyone in the roster, and the match was itself great. But the part that takes me off, that this ideology of WWE that whenever someone turns heel, some turns into the bad guys, he obviously needs help and obviously he has to run away, use second-hand tactics to win every match. Remind you that this is the Chad Gable that was challenging Gunther for the Intercontinental title in the later parts of 2023 and the early parts of 2024. So he was booked really strong back then, and now he has to use two of the most strong wrestlers in the WWE and still get beat up by Otis, and he needs the fourth person, Ivy Nile, to help him and get a win against Otis. Nevertheless, the match ended in a submission, and that is the good part because Chad Gable has to make the ankle lock look stronger because it has lost its value in the past decade after Kurt Angle retired. And I'm so happy that they are back with all these submission types of wins, like Gunther using the sleeper hold and Chad Gable using the ankle lock. It has just brought that aura back of submissions. Like, now we don't have to rely on the baby faces always losing by pinfall or some other maneuvers or disqualification, because in recent times, except for the top baby faces like Cody Rhodes, the super Cody Rhodes, the faces have submitted. Like they made Randy Orton pass out, Sheamus tap to the Boston Crab in 2024, and they also made Otis submit to the ankle lock, and that is a good thing coming back to WWE, and I'm very happy about it. So yeah, this match in-ring gets a thumbs up, story-wise gets a thumbs up, but they just had to make Chad Gable look a little stronger. So Yeah, but it gets a thumbs up from me. Now let's talk about Judgment Day. And we'll talk about both the Judgment Day segments in this episode of Raw together because they kind of go hand in hand. So the opinion that those segments have similar to each other is that I'm done with it. Just get off the back. We don't need any Judgment Day and Terror Twins match. Yeah, the Rhea Ripley feud and Liv Morgan feud has to end in a championship match where Rhea Ripley pins Liv Morgan. But that's all we need. And I'll hope that the build they had with this vignette of them talking to each other, the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour and everything, and the match that they have set up on the January 6th of Raw's debut on Netflix just ends this feud forever because we are done with it. We can revisit it later in the coming years, but we don't need these just now because this feud just killed that vibe and aura that Liv Morgan could have given to us, and so many good feuds that Liv Morgan could have had. The recent match with Io Sky and its build-up were good, and some part inside me just believed that Io Sky needed to take this championship off of Liv Morgan because the personal feud between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley doesn't need the title anymore. It could be just about hatred and just about Liv Morgan making Dominic Mysterio turning on Rhea Ripley with that double heel turn and taking everything away from her. Now, it just doesn't need the title anymore. We have been robbed of so many feuds that could have had happened, but we didn't get because of this overlooming shadow of Rhea Ripley getting injured and Liv Morgan not dropping the title before Rhea Ripley comes to get it. So just be done with it. And just as they said in that vignette 100 of times, this has to end. Similarly, the feud between Damian Priest and Finn Balor has been just overcooking. They didn't pull the trigger when they needed to. They didn't make Finn Balor win when they needed to. Yeah, of course, the Finn Balor heel turn in SummerSlam was monumental. It made me feel like the old Finn Balor was back. We could get that nasty version of Finn Balor that is booked strong and everything, but Triple H always takes away that from us. Triple H doesn't know how to book Finn Balor, and if Triple H doesn't book Finn Balor to win a single match against Damian Priest in this coming up feud, I'm just done with it. I have lost hope on Finn Balor. I know that Triple H could snap his fingers and turn anyone into a relevant character, but we need that with Finn Balor just now. So overall, considering the match, the bodywork of War Raiders and the Judgment Day, it has to be good. The talent involved in the match was really good. The in-ring work was good. But overall, it gets a thumbs down from me because also the fact that adds this chemistry between War Raiders and Damian Priest. That mind you, when the War Raiders left WWE, when Eric and Ivar were injured back then when they were Viking Raiders, Damian Priest was still a heel, and they just saying that they underneath had this respect, that they had this mutual understanding between them. That is just crap. You cannot turn any heel into a baby face and just expect them to gel around. Part of the reason may be that this alliance is not long term and they just had to make them look cohesive in that tag team match. So yeah, I'm okay with it. The work rate of the match in itself in ring was good, but overall story wise I'll be giving it a thumbs down. So now let's talk about the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament. Both the matches in ring were exceptionally good. They both had the right winners. So the first match was between Zoe Stark and Dakota Kai, and we all just knew that Dakota Kai was winning because Zoe Stark advancing to the semi-finals in itself was a surprise to us, and Dakota Kai has been rising, showing that this excellent body of work in the ring, and she has been impressing everyone. The match in itself, the body rate of work was really good, except for that drop kick that Zoe Stark hit that apparently didn't hit. And I was invested in it. I was really rooting for Dakota Kai. We had the right winner. We had a good body of work. We had that crowd cheering for Dakota Kai. So overall, it gets a thumbs up from me. The second match was between Lyra Valkyria and Io Sky, who had just replaced Kairi Sane in this tournament as a replacement when Sonya Deville and the Pure Fusion Collective attacked her, and this was just unpredictable. I just expected Pure Fusion Collective to interrupt in some way or interfere in some way, shape or form, but they didn't because they didn't participate in the Zoe Stark match. They didn't interfere in the Io Sky match, and I was happy with it. they couldn't just have made Lyra Valkyria win with the help of Pure Fusion Collective, because it was a weird dynamic where face was against face, and Lyra Valkyria just needed this win. She's the upcoming talent. She's gonna be the face of women's division in the coming years. And I love Lyra Valkyria. She is my favorite in the upcoming talents in the women's division, and you'll know that I'll be rooting for her to win the whole tournament. And this match cooked. This was really perfect from start to end. And another great part was that they finished it very perfectly, and the thing is that it ended in a roll up, so it protected you. And this is a big win for Lyra Valkyria, and just as Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett announced it, this might be a biggest upset. They were highlighting that how new Lyra Valkyria is, and how big of a superstar that Io Sky is. Now Io Sky is just a main eventer. She doesn't need the Intercontinental title. But losing this match against Lyra Valkyria cements Lyra Valkyria as a top contender for carrying this women's division forward and being the inaugural Intercontinental Champion. So we are rooting for Lyra Valkyria to win the tournament, and this match gets 2 thumbs up from me. It's worth a rewatch. Now let's talk about the final 10 minutes of this Raw. Now, the segment between Punk and Rollins was something that was very needed in this feud, and what this feud lacked was the fact that it didn't have much time to build up. They just, for the sake of making this coming episode of Raw on Netflix and the debut and everything, they just had to make it big, so they just impromptu made the match in this event, and they didn't have much time to build up this rivalry. Like, sure, we had some segments in the previous year, the early parts of 2024 and everything, but the thing is, they did not revisit them until Survivor Series. And I'm very happy to say that these 10 minutes that these both guys got were very well utilized. They all pointed out the likes and don't likes and the reason why this feud is happening, and they both took on each other, and especially Rollins when he said that CM Punk went on to join the competition. How did that work out? And that was just perfect. And CM Punk also kind of name dropped Vince McMahon, which actually made sense. He didn't like working for Vince McMahon, so he had to leave. Now Rollins, the workhorse of WWE, who has been carrying this company on his back for over a decade, he has to be pissed about all of that, because when he wanted Punk to stay, he didn't stay. And now I'm actually on board on this match to happen. I'm very sure that this feud is not gonna end in the first match, that is like a non-stipulation match. It needs some stipulation, because there's this hatred, there's this history, and it needs the stipulation. So yeah, whoever wins on this coming episode of Raw on Netflix, it isn't the end of rivalry. We'll get multiple matches, and we'll hopefully get a whole trilogy of this feud. Now, watching CM Punk going through the feud with Drew McIntyre really got me behind him, because I wasn't there to witness the prime CM Punk, the summer of CM Punk, the rivalry with John Cena. I wasn't there. I became a WWE fan in 2015 and then left afterward. And this is some content for another video in the future. But I wasn't behind CM Punk until this rivalry with Drew McIntyre. And I've always been a big Seth Rollins on the mic guy. The promo between Seth and Cody, where Seth said he's gonna be Cody's shield, and he introduced himself as the architect, and I really liked that promo. That promo shows how good Seth Rollins is, and he can go one-on-one with CM Punk on the mic as well. And this promo might just be a glimpse of it, because not everyone has that fortune to have their music hit after a promo with CM Punk. So yeah, this was the epitome of how good Seth Rollins can be on the mic, and how good he has to be to look eye to eye with CM Punk, who is considered one of the best on the microphones ever. So yeah, that's all for today, but we'll meet tomorrow, because you know that we upload fresh wrestling content every single day.